everyone. I'm Amanda Howard. I'm here with Rachel and Taja. Rachel and I are attorneys at the Florida Healthcare Law Firm. Taja is the visionary, the powerhouse, the face behind Taja Drip, IV therapy and wellness business located in the iconic Faena Hotel in Miami Beach. And today we're going to chat with Taja about a couple legal things. It won't be too boring, I hope, but try and power through with us. So Taja, do you remember why you first came to us?
I do, actually. And it was because I got a fine for a license that I didn't have, but I didn't know I needed to have it. So I was, given a short amount of time to rectify it and dismiss that, charge, the fine. And that's when I called you.
Yeah. If I can say, Taja came to us in a little bit of a panic. She thought that she was operating fully compliant, in total legal compliance. And then she gets a knock on her door that she's going to be shut down and she's getting a fine because she doesn't have a business license. And a business license isn't healthcare specific. Any business needs it in most cities and counties in Florida. So whether you open a restaurant, whether you are an accountant working from home or, opening a medical practice, it's just a license to do business, and all these cities and counties require it. So if you don't have one, as you just heard, there's hefty penalties for it. They can fine you, they can shut you down. And it's just not a good thing to go through. And a lot of people, a lot of business people don't know that they need this. And so that's where we come in and, kind of give you the guidance of what the steps you need to do before opening and before you start to operate, so that you are in total legal compliance and, the same thing doesn't happen to you.
Right. And also, since I was in a new city, things are different. I think I knew I needed that, but I had a state license, not a city license. So you need both, right?
Yeah, there's different licenses. There's county, city, state, a bunch of different licenses. What were you going to say?
Right, and then there are also additional, healthcare related licenses that you have to, discuss and review those rules and regulations. So it's really helpful to have an attorney. It's completely understandable that you didn't know. Right. Most of our clients don't know about, whether it's a business license or a healthcare related license. A lot of people just aren't aware, and that's, what we're here for, is to help you, make you aware and inform you of, what you need to stay compliant.
Well, I could say one thing. I will never open a business again without an attorney. And actually, I never did before this. But somehow,
what happened then?
No, I think it was my investor was like, "No, we don't need an attorney." And I'm like, "You don't?" But then we quickly found out that we did.
All right, you heard it here first. You always need an attorney to open a business. I didn't say it. Somebody else said it, okay?
I did. All right.
So I have a question. So you own the Taja Drip along with other investors, correct?
Just one investor.
One other investor.
Yes.
Okay. And you're not a healthcare professional, a nurse,
I am not.
Anything like that.
I said, I'm just a nutso entrepreneur.
That's amazing. So that's just that's a concept that I think is important for our viewers. Just to realize that there's a concept known as the corporate practice of medicine, which allows business, strong business individuals such as yourself to own in healthcare businesses. I think it's a very common misconception that you have to be a nurse or a paramedic or a doctor or a vet or a dentist, whatever it may be. I think it's a really important thing to shed light on. Correct. That, entrepreneurs such as yourself can be a really powerful force in the healthcare space. Correct.
And here's another thing. You don't learn about longevity and wellness in medical school. So I speak to doctors all day long, and they don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about, peptides, anti-aging, longevity, all of this biohacking, because we don't just do IVs. That's a very small part of what we do. We do a lot of other stuff like technology that's for anti-aging and longevity, and that's the future. And you do not learn that in medical school or nursing school or, in school, period. That's just through, exploring that world and getting certified in certain areas that, but you do need a medical director to have the type of business that I run. But, you know, all the treatments that we do not require you to be a doctor.
And I think that also speaks to the fact that, I mean, Rachel and I were talking about this earlier, that sometimes healthcare professionals, they're so focused on their craft that they don't have like that business acumen, or they don't really know how to get a business up and running and like the marketing behind it or just driving forces behind it that maybe somebody else in the business world can bring to it. So especially here in Florida, where there is no corporate practice of medicine and anybody can own a medical practice, yourself, Rachel, myself, I think it just provides more flexibility and more opportunities for, you know, people to get their hand in something and really make a difference, like what you just said. A lot of doctors don't know about longevity and all these things. I think it allows more people to put their you know, insight to better use.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit different from other states like California, for example, where only a physician or healthcare professionals can own a medical practice. So in California, you have to have 51% ownership by a physician, and then 49% can be owned by a licensed healthcare professional, but none of us could own it there. So it's important just to be aware of, you know, what the limitations are for whatever state that you're trying to open and operate in.
Taja, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to all of our listeners. We'll see you next time.